Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven aka Storm and we are back for some more of the Elder Scrolls Online as Reewish, the Mighty Battle Lizard. I'm just getting ready to send out the invitations to get people on up in here. Hold on just a second please while I make the necessary arrangements. Might help if I went to the right place. Alright, we are live. So today we're going to be continuing with the Deadlands DLC. We're trying to work towards completing it. I've been working on my novel most of my morning. I've gotten quite a bit of progress done. I'm trying to hopefully finish the rough draft today. We'll have to see if I can get up the energy to finish or not. Oops, that's it. I've been doing dailies here in the Deadlands all week on this character, so I've been trying to keep the progress of those going. So we're going to go ahead and step into the House of Whims and do that first. Oh, we'll talk to this person real quick too.
You again? You seem to be making a habit of this. Should I be flattered or just assume that you're the one killing my associates? I joke. Even if you were the one killing those who work for me, I'd still be flattered.
I found this gem near the body of someone named Rob here.
I am not shocked by this news. Mortals do not always know when to back away. This makes them exceptional employees, but does decrease their already limited longevity. You said you have the gem he was sent to retrieve?
Yes, here it is.
That's the trouble with mortals. Many don't have the experience to survive on the plains. Here, someone should have the gold that was set aside for Rob here. You're the most reliable mortal I've ever worked with outside of official capacities. Would you like to take on a contract with me? It'll be the culmination to all you've done so far.
And what do you need help with?
I suppose it's time to tell you that the plainstones you collected are not some baubles valuable only for their rarity. When brought together in a particular location, they open the portal to a secret lair where Uxark hid her treasure.
Who is Uark?
A legendary civilized warrior. Her crew took the location of the greatest treasure to oblivion. But one of their number just returned. Skoadal is in Wretched Spire. Get the portal's location from him, retrieve the treasure, and I'll reward you.
I'll find the treasure for you.
I don't have time for dollars. Get the location of the portal from Skoadal and retrieve Uxark's hidden treasure.
What is the treasure?
No one knows. Daedra have sought it for centuries. But with the treasure hidden away and Uxark's whole clan sent to float formlessly between the stars, there wasn't anyone who could talk about it.
What do you think it is?
How like a mortal to ask a question like that? The treasure itself is an enigma. It only retains its value when the contents are unknown. Once it's opened, the items inside become worthless.
If you don't know what the treasure is, why do you want it?
Why wouldn't we want to possess such a powerful mystery? The opportunity to recover Uxark's treasure presented itself. Skoadal is back from oblivion, and it won't be long before the rest of Uxark's clan returns too. This is the moment.
How did Uark amass the treasure?
Uxark made many treasure hoards. She conquered the armies of Sheophos and Bloodletter, and lived after fighting Molag Bal. Uxark slew Koth 20 times with his own war axe, and collected a treasury larger than any other from the ashes of Arm's Reach.
Is that the treasure that you sent me to retrieve?
Blood and coins, no. The Arm's Reach treasure has been greatly catalogued. Uxark only hinted at this one on her deathbed. She said there was a plane within a plane where she hid the most resplendent treasure known to immortality.
How did you find Squidle?
I am not obligated to tell you that. Consider my place of work, and extrapolate the answer from those lines of thought. Discretion is a staple of Madame Wim's business. I will not give away the sources or avenues of my information that quickly.
Why, Lyrinth, my dear, it would be an honor to assist you in any way I can.
An honor, yes. Mortals, show Wim the note.
Oh, darling, how good of you to once again grace my fine establishment. And I see that my information proved useful. You found Lyrinth. Another customer, satisfied and content. Now, what can Madame Wim do for you this time?
We think this note is written in code. It belonged to Sister Caldina.
While I have many, many talents, deciphering written codes concocted by fanatical mortals is not among them. Are you sure I can't interest you in something a little more luscious? No? Pity. Very well. I may know someone who can help you.
Who are they, and where can I find them, and how much will it cost me?
You wound me. I thought we were becoming friends. Talk to Gazmod the Collector. His villa on the west side of town contains quite the accumulation of Dagonic paraphernalia. Something in his collection should help, provided you can catch his eye.
Gazmod the Collector, villa on the west side of town. Got it. And what did that information cost me?
You owe absolutely nothing, my darling. Lyrinth agreed to cover your cost for this bit of inside information. Isn't she a dear? Now, do tell Gazmod that we miss them here at the House of Whims. The place hasn't been the same without them.
I'm still not sure what currency you deal in, Madam Wim.
Oh, don't concern yourself with that, dearest one. I never ask for more than a client can afford. There's no profit in that. When you have time, come back and let Madam Wim show you some of the wares that have made her the talk of oblivion.
Go downstairs and rouse the anchorite. We'll want her with us when we talk to this collector. Meanwhile, I need to conclude our business here.
Conclude our business? How I love the sound of that. It makes me all on Twitter.
I'm not here to play games, Wim.
But games are some of my favorite activities, dear Lyrinth. Come, let me show you what the House of Whims has to offer.
Oh, anchorite.
Was Madam Wim help? I know I said I was going to help with the negotiations, but look, I don't want to talk about it.
What's going on?
Some things are private, personal. You can't just walk up and demand I tell you my deepest, darkest secrets. Sorry. I agreed to talk about my name, my mask, everything. After you proved yourself, and you've certainly done that.
This is about your mask?
When we first met, you asked about my name. Madam Wim gave it to me. I just arrived in Fargrave, and everything before that exact moment was gone. All I had was this mask. I didn't know who I was or where I came from. Still don't.
What does it mean, the anchorite?
Just one of Madam Wim's little jokes. Means I'm a recluse, a hermit. Living a life of seclusion behind a mask I can't remove. Sometimes it feels like memories are stirring deep inside my mind. When that happens, I need a distraction.
Why do you need a distraction?
Because it feels like there's a war raging inside my skull. A war I can't win. Better to drink or whatever. Push them back down to stop the pain behind my eyes. That's my story. At least as much as I know. Now, tell me what Madam Wim said.
She said Gazmod the Collector might have something to help decipher the encoded note.
I've heard of the Collector. Has a villa on the west side of the city. Never met them personally, but I assume they're some sort of Daedra. Makes sense considering their influence and where they live. I'll meet you there.
Alright, I'll meet you at the Collector's Villa.
I'll finish this and meet you at the Collector's Villa. It's on the west side, in a neighborhood that's strictly Daedric. So be careful, and watch your step until I get there.
You arrived in Fargrave without knowing who you were or where you came from. Why did you stay?
Where else was I to go? I assumed I awoke in Fargrave for a reason. I stayed to find that reason. And to see if whoever left me here would one day return. Regardless, the city and its people quickly captured my heart. Especially the mortals.
Is that why you became the darling of the alleys?
Another label assigned by Madam Wim. Stay in her orbit long enough and you'll collect a dozen appellations. I can't stand to see anyone go hungry or be taken advantage of. I try to help and don't ask anything in return. Wim sees that as a weakness.
And you really can't recall anything before you arrived in Fargrave?
Bits and pieces, but when the memories stir, the pain kicks in. If I try to focus on them, actually make sense of them, the mask burns. It hurts me, like it doesn't want me to remember. Someday, I'll look into those blank spaces, but not today.
Time to go, little mortals.
Alright,
To the
Lyra.
Collector's Villa, as soon as I finish my drink.
Go. We will catch up. I want to hear more about the Anchorites' missing memories.
I'm almost done with the rough draft of my novel. I'm actually really excited to get it done. Hopefully I'll get it done and I'll start working on some editing and stuff, and then I'm going to start doing the critique partner process, get a critique partner, maybe get a beta reader. Sorry, I already did my dailies for the day, person. We'll do you in a minute, David Fur. I'm not in any rush to get to you. We'll get to everybody in this zone eventually. We're gonna 100% this zone before we move on. We've already made a great start by getting the world bosses and the delves out of the way. I believe we already got 3 of the sky shards? 5 of the sky shards. Good grief, we're only missing 1 sky shard. Which one are we missing? Okay, we're missing the one near... Hold on, I can probably tell exactly which one it is. We're missing the one over in this area over here.
This mass, it intrigues. It must become a part of Gazmod's collection.
Friend? Why don't you talk to the Collector?
It approaches. It dares speak. Will it offer the mass to compensate for such insults?
Madam Wim sent us. She said your collection might contain something to decipher a Dagonic code.
It invokes Madam Wim. Wants what belongs to Gazmod and Gazmod alone. It is presumptuous. Leave on gaze. Gazmod no longer wants to look upon it.
Lorenth, maybe you can convince them?
I meant no insult by having my mortal speak to you, Collector. We merely seek to borrow a Dagonic codebreaker.
Since you're clearly interested, I'll allow you to examine my mask.
No, the Arox must not leave the gallery, but Gazmod will appear in its mask. This way, mask wearer.
Come, little mortal. We must find the Arox. Perhaps the gallery is beyond that door. A codebreaker called the Arox. We must find it. It appears not all of Gazmod's collection consists of relics.
It dares enter our collection. Does it not know we see through many eyes?
You're watching.
Oh great, it's Yagra. And the Lamia.
I'm still here.
And a terror bird, oh gosh.
Dangerous as it is beautiful.
Perhaps the Dagonet relics lie beyond that door. This gallery contains but a single display. See what it is.
Few things that walk the Deadlands can hear the name of Arox, the Mutilator, and not soil themselves.
He's very angry.
Sweet freedom at long last! Arox owes you for this kind indulgence.
Hello, Arox the Mutilator.
You have set Arox free. Free! Arox owes you a debt of honor, and Arox will pay it, no matter how long it takes. You have my word. But pray tell, who do I owe this enormous debt of gratitude to?
I'm Reewish Leftesh, and this is Laranth, but you're a Dayrat. We thought you were some kind of Daedric relic.
Question not this pitiable form, mortal, for within it beats the heart of the terror of the Deadlands, the sunderer of the seven skies, and the warrior of the floating wastes. I am Arox the Mutilator! And yes, I currently occupy this Daedric body.
We were told you could decipher any Dagonet code.
Taken in codes. Easy as ripping the ears off a banekin. Arox is fluent in the many tongues of the Deadlands. No code can hide its meaning from the Mutilator's eyes. Speaking of eyes, we should leave this place before the Collector looks this way.
If we take you with us, will you promise to decipher the code when we reach a safe location?
I have already pledged to honor my debt to you. I will decipher every scroll in the Tower of Lord Dagon's Viscount Scrivener, if that is what you desire. I swear my fealty to you, mortal master. My life and my skills are yours to command.
Very well. Hop in my pack, Arox.
With pleasure, mortal master.
I can't even imagine what he's doing inside of my pack right now.
Your pack is perfect, master. And I found the encoded note. I will work on translating it forthwith.
We have a Daedrat. Wonderful. Now let's find the anchorite and depart this place.
Not gonna send waves of enemies out there, Collector? I mean, I'm okay with that. Oh, seriously?
Help here? That floating sack of eyes wants to make me a permanent part of their collection. Thanks. Let's get out of here and return to Madam Whim's.
Master! Arox has deciphered the note. Daedric troops from Burning Gyre Keep in the Deadlands are preparing to invade Fargrave.
Well done, Rat. Mortal, find out what else the note contains.
That Daedrat talks?
Daedrat talk.
Did you hear what I said, Mortal Master? Volcanos Nocfrost prepares to send the most fearsome Daedric troops in all the Deadlands to this Nexus city. The destruction will be glorious.
Does the encoded note say anything else?
It is addressed to some despicable cur named Sister Sardina. A weak-sounding mortal name if ever I heard one. Why one of Mehrunes Dagon's most powerful warlords, not as powerful as Arox, mind you, would deign to aid a weak-named mortal baffles me.
Arox, the rest of the encoded note, please.
Yes, right. Troops, stand ready at Burning Gyre Keep. Send word when Fargrave's defenses fall, and the invasion will begin. Dremora blades will take the city, not your incarnates. That is every word, Mortal Master, whose name is...
This is no way weak. We should head for Burning Gyre Keep.
Let us make haste, Master.
An excellent idea, Mortal. Use the Plaza of Portals to reach the Deadlands. We'll rendezvous at Burning Gyre Keep.
Alright, we're heading up. But before we go, we may as well do this quest for Deereth. There's not a lot of side quests, but I'd like to get them all started and finished as soon as possible before, and we can just focus on doing main quests afterwards. But it makes sense to do some of the main quests as we go because there's certain things that'll take us to certain locations, and it's just better to, do things as, optimized as possible. Honestly, I should have done the quest with Deereth Fur before we continued the first quest. I think because I was in a hurry to get through the shambles, that's why I didn't do it. Because there's some of the daily quests that involve going through the shambles.
You there, come speak with me.
Hello.
Ah, my dauntless companion from the Clockwork City. Bounding from one mysterious realm to another, I see. This is fortuitous. I find myself in need of someone with your skills.
What do you need me to do, Fair?
I recently discovered that someone intends to auction off Mephala chief artifact, the Ebony Blade. I hardly thought such a thing possible. I leave nothing to chance. As soon as I began making inquiries, Prince Hexos cancelled the auction.
You think they canceled the auction on account of you?
I am the foremost authority on Daedric artifacts and the greatest mage of our era. So yes, I'm quite confident they're trying to hide the weapon from me. A fool's errand. If you choose to assist me in finding the blade, I will pay you handsomely.
I'm pretty sure Abner Thorn and Vanus Galarian would take offense to that remark about you being... Oh, and probably Talon for the Artificer as well. Alright, I'll help you find the Ebony Blade.
Our first order of business is investigating the auction house. It's just there, near the Nereids Fountain. Gather testimony, correspondence, anything you can. When you've discovered enough, meet me in the market near the Shamble's north entrance.
Can you tell me anything about the Ebony Blade?
It is an artifact of the dread teacher, Mephala. At first glance, it resembles a katana carved from obsidian.
Hey, Joe.
But I assure you, it is far more than a simple sword. It is the lady's malice in physical form, a life-devouring instrument of murder.
What would you do with it if we find it?
Do I detect some suspicion in your voice? If we recover the Ebony Blade, I will do what I do with all the dangerous relics I acquire. Keep it safe. I assure you, there is no one better equipped to safeguard a terror like this.
Staying busy, Death.
Ha! Rest is a luxury the ambitious cannot afford. My business in the Clockwork City, while important, accounts for only a fraction of my grand design. I have interests in realms across the Orbis, including this one.
Do you still have the skeleton key?
On my person? No. I know better than to wander the streets of Fargrave with an artifact like that jangling around in my pocket. But it is quite safe. I gave Seal my word I would keep it out of the Daedra's hands. I always honor my agreements.
Alright, let's go and check out this auction house. How you doing today, Joe?
Going twice. Sold to the portly ogrum there. Thank you, sir.
Wow, that's really long.
Now, help yourself
Nice.
to some refreshment while my associates collect the next items up for auction. Always a pleasure to see a fellow mortal. These Daedric types, well, they're all a bit creepy, eh? But look at me, babbling away. Sorry, quick tongue, you know, comes with the profession. Here for the auction? Nothing but first-rate goods here.
I'm looking for something specific, the Ebony Blade.
The Ebony Blade? Well, that's, you know, not really my area of expertise. Daedric artifacts, I mean. Then again, there is a small errand that needs doing, a personal matter, you see. You help me with that, and my memory might improve.
Should we intimidate him, or say, what is the errand exactly? I've got a blade of my own that might jog your memory.
Alpha, there's no need for that.
Oops. Sorry, Joe.
I was just joking. A couple of Scarface not long ago said they had to stow it away in the Hexos Gallery vault, in the shambles. Just don't tell anyone I told you, all right?
I guess it was a pretty big delay there. I should have waited a little bit longer. Sorry about that. The merchant's list and a crystal key. Yeah, those are bones everywhere, by the way. Nobody knows what kind of creature those came from. So how far are you into Red Dead Redemption, Joe? Also known as Grand Theft Carriage. Or Grand Theft Coach.
So, timely as ever. What did you discover in
I
that
played
house?
some. I also watched Miniature Nerd play the first hour or so. They moved the Ebony Blade to a Hexos vault in the shambles to hide it from the Telvanni.
The Telvanni? That it's as I suspected, foiled by my own renown. Again. Intolerable. Well, there's no use dwelling on it. Did you find anything else?
Yes, I found this strange crystal key.
A key? Yes, that might come in handy. Can I just say how refreshing it is to find competent allies? A rare luxury, I assure you. Make your way to the shambles. There's a Hexo storehouse near the center of the district. Check there first.
Aren't you coming with me?
You needn't worry. I'll be along soon enough. A fair warning, the shambles is a lawless slum, full of far worse things than mortal indigence. Prepare yourself.
Why do you think that house, the Hexos vault, is in the warehouse you mentioned?
The size, mostly. Those Hexos Noirs are quite clever.
Okay.
By Imperial standards. They operate a number of warehouses in Fargrave, but only one of them is large enough to contain a vault of any appreciable size. I suppose we'll find out soon enough.
All right.
From our homes, we still drink our fill.
By the way, the demonic chicken is not happy about Erox, the mutilator. I don't remember if you saw this place last week, Joe, but it reminds me a lot of the Warrens. Probably could have just jumped to the way shrine. That probably would have been faster.
No surprise. Do you have that key near to hand? Have a go at this. Well done. Now, let's see what they're hiding in there.
Well, that definitely looks like the ebony sword.
There,
Or ebony blade.
the Ebony Blade. Claim it.
Claiming it? Wait, why am I claiming it?
As I suspected. Let's have a look at this so-called artifact, shall we? The fabled Sword of Leeches here within my grasp. I have my doubts. May I?
Have a look. Is this the real ebony blade?
Eerily sharp, masterfully edged, and completely fake. This is a forgery. A brilliant one, I admit, but a forgery nonetheless. While I respect this forger's skill, I cannot abide a glut of fraudulent artifacts taking up my time and attention.
You think someone in House Hexos produced this?
No, they're traders, not artisans. This is Daedric precision. I know a Spiderkith, Scrix. He's a small-time scoundrel who deals in stolen goods, counterfeit soul gems, that sort of thing. He might be able to point us in the right direction.
Where can we find this Strix?
He frequents the Wishbone, a tavern in the Shambles' northern alleys. Let's pay him a visit, shall we?
What more can you tell me about this Spiderkith Strix?
He's a Spiderkith, which is to say he's a treacherous, deceitful sneak thief. Our personal history is contentious, full of double dealings and trickery. I've killed it more than once, but you know how these Daedra are. It rarely takes.
If you two hate each other so much, why would he agree to help us?
For the usual reasons. Simple greed and fear of punishment. Daedra may not die, but the process of reconstitution is not pleasant. I can also make business difficult for him. For Strix, losing wealth may cause more pain than losing his life.
I already have that sky shard. Ow! Yeah, I actually did extra on my book this morning, Joe, because I'm trying to finish up the rough draft. I am so close to being done that I've started working extra on my novel this morning in an attempt to try to get it finished. So I think I might be able to finish it in the next couple of days, if not tomorrow. So, well, the rough draft, anyways, and I gotta start working on stuff.
Guido, I know it doesn't look like.
Hello, Strix.
To say to you, Fear.
Settle yourself, Strix, and listen. I can make business very difficult for you if you don't.
You with the Ash Elf, Fear? Got no business with you. Got no business with him. Better scuttle off. Stomp you otherwise, and peel you off the boot flat.
We're not here to make trouble, and we need your help finding whatever this counterfeit blade came from.
Ebony Blade, huh? That's the mistress's hot cutter. Somebody hammering out fakes? Clever. Got no idea where it comes from. Don't care. Tell Fear he can find it himself.
Dirith is threatening to make life very difficult for you. Help us and we'll leave you alone.
Threats, huh? With Fear, it's always threats. Sturdy elf with big head and tiny wits. Fine. We'll cast a signal line for it. Finding ritual. Can find anything with it. After this, Fear pays you and you scuttle off. Final offer.
What else can you tell me about the ritual?
Nothing. Secrets of the skein. You find out the secret, you die. Quiet. Alone in the dark. Still want to know how it works?
I guess not.
Smart. Enough talk. Put the sword on the table.
Just stab the sword into the table, by the way. That's not gonna cause damage at all.
A ghostly spider. A bit garish for my taste, but then we can't all be squinty, desiccated skein spawn, can we? Before you go, I have something to give you.
What is it?
A bauble I purchased before we set out for the shambles. Keep it near to hand. It may prove useful.
A sundial? What's it do?
I pray you never have need to find out. Suffice it to say that it's insurance. Enough talk. Follow that spider. And don't take your eyes off Strix. Not even for a moment.
Alright, why aren't you coming?
Surely you don't require a chaperone. Strix, while clever, is hardly a match for a warrior of your skill. No, I'm quite certain you'll be fine without me. I have other lines of inquiry to explore. I won't be far behind, I assure you.
Alrighty. And you don't actually have to follow the spider. You can just go straight to the place where it's headed.
Just follow the spider link. Simple.
Yeah, fastest way is to cut this way. Cut through here. Ignore the waking flame as you ride past. And boom, we're there. Of course, we angered a whole bunch of enemies on the way, but...
Artificer's table. See? Another Ebony Blade's right there. Have a look. Flies in the open like the lair fear. You're never
Potent
leaving.
magic, Strix, but all too predictable. Quickly, assistant, use the sundial.
Using the sundial.
Light, what are you? Torches in skein row? Liable to set webs on fire. Clumsy, stupid.
If you're wondering what just happened, we just got blasted back in time a few
This is the
minutes.
place. Answers behind that door. In you go, Artificer's table. See? Another Ebony Blade's right there. Have a look. Flies open like the lair fear. You're never
Webs,
leaving.
use that torch, quickly.
Stop it! Lady, curse you! No, not fire!
Well done. A respectable attempt, Strix, but it will cost you. Seems we're finished here. Meet me outside. That appears to be that. Exemplary work. From the looks of things, our web-brained friend here planned to sell several more forgeries. Now that we've apprehended him, the flow of counterfeit artifacts should grind to a halt.
So what now?
Now, I provide you with the reward I promised, and we part company. Strix and I have a great deal to discuss. I'd invite you to join us, but let's be honest. Carrying on a conversation with him is exhausting. You have my thanks, Sarah. Farewell.
Farewell, fair.
You know, despite his simple nature, Strix displays a rare gift for counterfeiting. I can think of countless applications for such a skill. Alas. For all their power, the Daedra lack one vital trait. Imagination.
Do you think Strix will answer your questions?
No, of course not. He'll squirm and curse and prevaricate until I banish him. But even a lying tongue tells some truths. He will give something away. He always does. I only wish the process wasn't so tiresome.
Well, farewell. Happy hunting for information.
Advance!
Ugh. Ooh. I don't actually have the portal to Fargrave. I need to go get that.
Just unleashed inside the keep. Hurry, mortals. We must see what's going on inside.
You required a demonstration of the power of an incarnate, Noctral. Your Daedra will reform. Present.
You put too much faith in these abominations, Cynthia.
With the Riven Cataclysm, Fargrave will fall. And then, Nern.
They chased you off Fargrave once. How many more failures must you endure, Cynthia?
Careful, Noctraz, or perhaps I'll point my incarnate in your direction.
A blade bearer weapon. Here. It is the blade bearer's crest. This is not their fortress. Why would that broken sword be here?
It's a Cyclone Incarnate.
Incarnate, destroy them!
Deal with the incarnate, mortal. I shall do what I can to weaken it for you.
Just barely made it. Got him.
Let's head to the Riven Cataclysm. I have a legion of incarnates to create.
We should leave too. Quickly, mortals, into the portal.
Glorious victory! Aerox the Mutilator must scratch furiously to celebrate.
Must scratch furiously in celebration.
Violence. Oh, Master, you make me so proud! You dispatched that incarnate abomination with a ferocity worthy of Aerox the Mutilator! And did you see the look on Knockfross's face? Like a lava crab crawled up his nose and died!
You take way too much pleasure from this.
Sister Seldina.
What
Twice now, you
is
helped
that
stop
she's
her
eating?
From harming Fargrave and its people.
Looks like
Thanks.
larvas.
I'm not sure why Lyranth chose us, or what she really cares about in all this. But as long as the cult threatens my city, I'll stand by you.
You've heard Sister Caldina. She plans to create a legion of Macarons with her Riven Cataclysm.
Yeah, I heard. I may not remember who I am, or where I came from. But I found a purpose in Fargrave. That's what keeps me going. Protecting the city and its people. I won't rest until we stop Sister Seldina and the Order of the Waking Flame.
Goodbye.
We stopped Seldina's ritual and forced her to retreat to Burning Gyre Keep. There, instead of allowing her to summon Knockfross's promised army, we defeated her incarnate. Now she's on the run, back to her Riven Cataclysm. That device intrigues me.
Intrigues you. She plans to use the device to create a legion of incarnates to invade Fargrave.
And do not forget that Nirn is her ultimate target, little mortal. She plans to use Fargrave to sacrifice your realm to Dagon. But Seldina figured out a way to change the very nature of a Daedra. Truly change it. That bears further investigation.
So how do we find the Riven Cataclysm?
A question I must ponder. There are few places I can think of to hide such a device. None of them pleasant. And there are the Blade Bearers to consider. Why was their sword in the keep? For now, take this as a reward. That is the mortal custom, yes? Are you ready to resume our hunt for the Riven Cataclysm, little mortal? I assumed you'd want time to sample Madame Wim's delights, or explore the splendors of Fargrave. No? Very well. Let us go before more incarnates are unleashed upon the city.
How? We have no idea where Sister Caldina went or where her Riven Cataclysm is.
You are not wrong in your summation. But we are not without avenues to explore. Remember the broken sword hilt you found at Burning Gyre Keep? It carries the mark of the Blade Bearers clan.
And how does that help us?
The Blade Bearers are a Dromora clan who forged their own path. They have no allegiance to Mehrunes Dagon, so I find it curious that their crest was found on a broken sword in the keep. I want to determine their involvement. With your aid, of course.
I'll help you investigate the Blade Bearer clan and their connection to the events of the at the keep.
The Blade Bearers are nomads, but we should find them at a settlement called Wretched Spire. That's in the Sever region of the Deadlands. We must talk to their kinreeve, Rincaius. I will meet you there. And bring Aerox. We may have a use for him.
What should I know about him?
Rincaius is a kinreeve of the Blade Bearers, a clan of nomadic Dromora who bow to no prince. Like the rest of his clan, he is fierce but values honor. He takes pride in his martial skills and the status of his kin. Mortals hold no interest for him.
Are you friends?
Friends? Hardly. That is a mortal concept. If I understand the idea, it implies affection, vulnerability. That you would attribute such an affiliation to Dremora is amusing. But I have known Rinkias for a long time. We have never been at odds.
What about Wretched Spire? What is that?
The Deadlands belong to Mehrunes Dagon, but places exist where his minions rarely go. Wretched Spire stands as a refuge of sorts. A settlement where Dremora without clans and escaped mortal slaves can eke out a meager existence. Hence the name.
Why do you think we'll find Reewish there?
As I said, the Blade Bearers are nomads who do not pledge allegiance to Dagon. As such, they roost in places that aren't under the Prince's direct control. Wretched Spire is one such location. Rinkias' clan can usually be found there this cycle.
What can Reewish tell us about Sister Caldina and the location of the Riven Cataclysm?
He might be able to explain how his Blade Bearers came to be at Burning Gyre Keep. If Rinkias knows more about the Waking Flame's activity in the Deadlands than we do, perhaps he can tell us where Sister Caldina and her device are hiding.
What if the Blade Bearers are allied with the Order of the Waking Flame?
Then either Rinkias knows about the involvement of his kin, or he does not. If he knows, then he is an enemy, and we may learn something by questioning him. If he does not know, then he is a potential ally, and a powerful one.
Alright. Talk to Arox the Mutilator.
You are unlikely to find any of Mehrunes Dagon's servants in Wretched Spire, Master. Long ago, the Prince of Destruction commanded that no Daedra among his legions should look upon that place, or even speak of it. He was quite insistent.
You heard Remiga and Dremora named Rinkias there.
Never heard of him, but I do not trust him. I will watch him closely, Master. Sniff out his intentions. I have a keen sense of smell in this otherwise pathetic form. I'd prefer to be huge and powerful again, of course. But this form has some uses.
Why does Mehrunes Dagon want his legions to ignore Wretched Spire?
I do not know. Lord Dagon wasn't in the habit of explaining his commandments. I heard the entire town was dropped into the Deadlands from someplace else. But I was never curious enough to investigate further. Sorry to have failed you, Master.
It's alright, hop in my pack, Arox. At once, mortal master.
Our work is only... These incarnates threaten not only Fargrave, but your world as well.
Yep, we are officially 2 quests of the way done. Alright, it's time to work on some side quests.
I've heard the Dagonists have been largely driven from the city.
Frey considers this development. The cult's vote is no longer affect the mortals of Fargrave then.
Yes, a relief to be sure.
Frey ponders this with regret. The mortals were more interesting when the cult toyed with their emotions.
This look like home to you, Joe? This is the closest the Elder Scrolls gets to having a hell. I'm looking for something very specific. We'll be coming back through here in just a minute again for the quest, but there is another quest I want to pick up and get started on before we... There it is.
Come on. This isn't right.
Hello, our old friend.
Gods, it's good to see a fellow Psijic. You can see me, right? What about hear me?
I hear you.
Another improvement. I've been trapped in this synchrocesiac state for I don't know how long. My senses, myself, scattered far and wide. I'm barely aligned enough to communicate. I need an intervention to pull me free. Would you help me?
If you're not familiar, this is the Right Master of the Psijic Order, who we helped during the events of the Somerset questline. It was her husband that sacrificed himself at the tower, the Crystal Tower, to help save our lives. Synchrosynastic state?
Out of sync with reality. I need to find a Daedra sage named Urvank, a master of the 11th Force change. He may be my best hope of escaping the synchrosessia. Maybe my only hope. Will you help me find Urvank? I'll compensate you once I'm whole.
I'll help you find Revenik.
The only lead I have is one of Urvank's disciples, Mora, in Windswept Crag. I've been trying to communicate with her for hours, but I get no response. If you speak on my behalf, we may finally get somewhere.
And how did you wind up like this?
I wanted to study the 11th Force change within this realm of oblivion. You see, Mehrunes Dagon is best known for his power of destruction, but that is merely a portion of his sphere of influence. All of his aspects are rooted in change.
The 11th Force?
Really? The 11 forces are only the basis for your entire studies as a Psijic. You should take some time from your practical studies to brush up on your theory. The 11th, most sacred force is change.
You think I have time for that, Velistrin? What does that have to do with your state?
Everything, really. I underestimated change's currents here in the Deadlands. When I reached out to dip my toes in, I got swept away. Parts of me, anyway.
Is that why your body is gone?
Among other things, I'm out of sync with this realm, with myself. It seems that I've regained enough alignment to interact with you, but there's no telling how long I'll remain like this. And I'd rather not become dispersed across time and space.
What can you tell me about the Sage?
He is a well-known sage, though few besides his disciples have ever seen him. Rumors claim he's always in motion, which is fitting, but also makes tracking him down very difficult. Mora may be able to guide us to him, though.
Did you venture from Artaeum by yourself?
Are you suggesting I should have dragged half the Order along on this expedition? Maybe held a symposium? I prefer to conduct my studies at my own pace, thank you. Though I did appear to underestimate how strong the 11th Force would be here.
You're the Right Master now. You need to be more careful.
Being Right Master is half the reason why I'm here. I hardly have a moment to myself anymore. My study of the old ways has fallen to the wayside because of my usual duties. Your concerns are valid, of course, and noted.
Very well. Well, that's one of the wandering bosses. I'm gonna go help. I won't get much help in, but I'll get a little bit.
To hurt you, but now I'm going to.
Not enough to get a drop, unfortunately. he had had more health left, I probably would have gotten a drop from that. Oh well.
So the ghost returns. Wait, you can see me?
And hear you, unfortunately. I see you brought someone to help offend my other senses, too. Your odor precedes you, leaky skin bag. At least I could tune out the apparition, but your sweaty, reeking body would test even Lord Dagon's endurance. Well, go on before your overwhelming miasma seeps into everything and drives away the fish.
You're trying to find. We're trying to find Sage Rilvik.
Sending you to Master Irving would be akin to farting downwind. I would inflict your odious odor on my worst enemy, let alone a Daedra of his esteem. Whatever your troubles, they'll be over soon. Your smelly existences are mercifully brief.
What would convince you to tell us where to find the Master?
I just want to fish without your fetid meat musk burning my nose. You can go pick apocalypse seeds from an end times ash tree for all I care. Actually, that's perfect. Go get me a seed. I think there's one out in those burning wastes.
You want an apocalypse seed?
I want you to go away, but some shade would be nice. Wait, stop that. I don't need to explain anything to you, Thought-Wisp. Just blow away and vanish like the leaves of an end times ash.
You're fishing?
You must be utterly baffled by the concept. Just sitting and waiting for something to occur with patience. As quickly as you expire, the mere idea must appear ludicrous. How utterly pathetic.
Mortals fish, you know.
They do? Oh my. That somehow makes it even worse. There went the last vestiges of pity I had for you worthless creatures. Alas, I'll never be as cruel as whoever conceived of you reeking awful bags.
What kind of fish can you catch in lava?
Oh, I really couldn't say. Why don't you take a dip and see for yourself?
What do you have against us?
What don't I have against you? You mortals are like an irritating itch. They're long enough to be a nuisance, but nothing of any lasting consequence. The pointlessness of your existence offends me. Why any Daedra have an interest in you is beyond me.
Can I just kick her in the lava? Is that allowed? Also, there's totally a flame atronach and a iron atronach down there, lady. I don't think you want to fish down there.
I'm sorry you had to endure that, but considering most Daedra's temperaments, Mora's caustic personality isn't so bad. I think we might be able to make some headway with her.
How so?
I've observed her for some time now, while trying to make contact. I think she's dissatisfied by more than just our presence. There's something more to this apocalypse seed business than she's willing to admit. It might help persuade her.
Where can we get one?
Mora mentioned end times ash trees. I vaguely recall some trivial details from my travel preparations. I think I can identify one of those trees when I see it. My present condition should actually make the search easier. I'll scout ahead.
I'll meet you out there.
Yeah, let's ride.
Oh great, it's an ash titan. I'll be back in a second.
This is an end times ash tree, but it appears to be like most things in the Deadlands, dead. All is not lost, though. I remember that these trees have a particularly volatile life cycle. Growth, destruction, regrowth. It just needs a nudge.
What do I need to do?
If we want a seed, we need it to sprout. That's impossible while it's dead. But I think we can encourage it to change if we provide it with the right catalysts. I'll try conjuring some elements. If I can manage that, you can apply them to the tree.
You can't do it yourself?
I am still tenuously connected to this realm. I'm not even sure I'll be able to muster simple conjurations. But you and I are still relatively in phase. If all goes well, you can act as an intermediary and effect change on my behalf.
Alright, let's give it a try.
Phew! That was more difficult than it should have been. Try using those on the tree. Cleansing fire. That's a good start. New life breaking through the quenched flames. That's it! The end times ash begins a new life. My body, it's gone. Again. Somehow our meddling with the end times ash affected my asynchronous state. I was fully aligned with myself again, if only for a brief moment. Puzzling. I'm afraid I don't understand the implications, but Ervank might. We should return to Mora.
We could try another tree.
We could, but I'm not quite to the point of risking my entire existence on blind experimentation. I believe Ervank is still my best hope of returning to a stable state, provided we can convince Mora to help us find him.
Okay.
Mora, we have something for you.
Oh, a new smell. How inventive. Are you attempting to mask your horrendous stench by rolling around in ash and dirt? Huh. Only a mortal would believe compounding filth with filth is somehow an improvement.
We brought you an apocalypse seed.
An apocalypse seed? How did you... I honestly thought you'd wander off and die before the new seedlings took. And you just brought this to me? Why would you do that? I made no pact with you.
Seems like something you might be interested in.
I don't understand. This is some sort of trick, isn't it? Are you even smart enough for tricks? Maybe you really did just bring it to me. Idiot mortal. Well, it's not like I'm just going to turn it away, but I'm not going to be in debt to a mortal.
Could you tell us where to find the master?
I suppose you demonstrated you aren't completely useless, and you muffled your overpowering stench. Fine, I'll help you to find Master Ervink. Seek out Shirodar in the Flea Pits district of Wretched Spire. He was the last mortal to see the Master.
Alright.
Wretched Spire? I'll meet you there.
That's what I wanted to get set up, was because we're going to have to go in the place where he's at anyways for this other quest. So I figured we may as well do all the quests in this area simultaneously. I'm actually going to take a quick pause and run to the bathroom, and then I'm going to grab some water, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, this place, there's just lightning strikes all the time. There's the other quest that's in this area that I wanted to get started.
Why concern yourself with this? We can outlast the mortals.
Perhaps. But the chaos still threatens us. What do you see, mortal? A Tremora shell on the ground? What does that matter? We don't die after all. Could bring chaos. Disrupt the town's stability. Someone knew this and sent Tephalas back to oblivion. I need to know who. You can help.
Why would one dangerous end lead to chaos?
Wretched Spire hides Daedra. Can't get summoned while here. We like that. But Mortis when it's gone, that won't happen. Tephalas seeks a treaty. Removing him delays that. The mortals may try to purge Daedra in his absence. If so, they'll die.
Why do you care if mortals die?
We know not the source of the Spire's protection. Any change might end it, including mortal deaths. You are mortal. Save your people. Speak to them so I can find the one who seeks violence. If lives do not concern you, I can provide mortal coin.
I'll help you. What do you need from me?
Several mortals stand about gawking. Two will tell what they saw. Rodzara speaks freely to anyone. And Tarvin on the hill, allied to Daedra. I'll take Tephalas' shell to a necrologist in the Daedric area. Meet me there with what you learn.
Why is telepath so crucial to Wretched Spire's peace?
The Daedra of Wretched Spire prefer our unbound status. No masters, no summoners. We will stay under the protection this area provides, at any cost. Tephalas spoke for us with the city's leaders. Treaty negotiations, influence over city operations.
Couldn't you kill the mortal leaders? Why rely on them?
Very smart that you recognize this. My answer is unsatisfying. Daedra do not want to change anything about Wretched Spire. The protection source remains unclear. The Spire? The people? Until we understand more, all must stay the same.
So what purpose will a treaty serve if you're already here?
Solitude. The constant disruptions of our existence by mortals anger us. An agreement would ensure we are left alone. You should understand. The mortals believe they allow us to stay. They cannot conceive that we allow them to live.
You mean taking Tephalas to a necrologist? What is that?
A researcher specializes in the empty shells Daedra leave behind. Their composition uses alchemy and magic to reveal secrets. He doesn't speak in the mortal tongue often. May confuse you. I'll need to interpret for him.
Tell me more about Wretched Spire.
A complicated place, even for a mortal town. It exists as a boil in the Deadlands. An infection that Mehrunes Dagon knows exists, but cannot heal. It goes unwitnessed, to my benefit.
Where did it come from?
Did Mehrunes Dagon's arrival on your plane go unnoticed? Was his tearing a city from its roots a common event on Nirn? I have never been there, so I do not know. A mortal summoned the prince. He ripped up the spire and flung it here.
Whoever that person was a frickin' idiot to summon the Daedric Prince. Why doesn't Mehrunes Dagon destroy this place?
Good question. No one can say. I hear many theories, protected by a different prince. Saved for later. Dagon thinks it's funny. Nothing certain.
Dagon thinks
Without
it's
an
funny.
answer, we must maintain stasis. Nothing can change, otherwise Dagon may take notice.
Tell me more about Tephalas.
The Daedra of
wretched spy
Oh, already asked that. Let's just go back to...
A researcher. A complicated...
Tell me about
question.
yourself.
I refuse to have a master. I reject clans. No prince compels my allegiance while I stand within these walls. This arrangement suits me. When Tephalas began negotiations with the mortals, I offered him protection. As you can see, I failed.
Why didn't you stop the attack on him?
Tephalas makes his own choices. He is unbound just as I am. If he wishes to walk without me, then so be it. I would not stop him, though obviously it was foolish.
Doesn't working in service of someone make him your master?
Limited mortal philosophy. Can he force me to kill you if I did not wish? No. Can he embed thoughts in my mind, forcing me to worship him? No. Can he bring me to another plane against my will? Again? No. He is no master, only a useful tool.
So, his definition of what a master is basically what a Daedric prince is. Okay, let's talk to this dark elf here, or orc.
I saw you over there talking to Nora, just like I watched you come into town for the first time. Nothing goes on around here without Zara noticing. Want to know what happened to that Dremora dead on the ground?
You saw what happened?
How could I miss it? One moment he's walking along, the next he falls to the ground. Body shook a little, then nothing. I thought only a blade to the chest could kill them. Not that I care. You'll find no love for those things in my heart.
Did you see anyone near him when this happened?
No, not a soul. Neither person nor creature around him when it happened. But he was coming from the spire and going toward where the Daedra stay. Probably getting up to foul business. You know how they are. I keep my eyes on them.
What do you think about the tensions in Wretch's Fire?
Seems to me that we should have handled it long ago. Daedra aren't meant to live among us. They have everywhere else they can go. Why do they insist on staying where I'm forced to see their strange ways? I say, gather everyone, kick them out.
Yeah, you don't understand. This is the only place they're safe. Oh, look at these Rumbler and Sparks. I'm really sad that you can't just buy these. Like, I mean, you can get them from Crown Crates, but you just can't get these ones that are right here, despite them being here in a stables with a stable master right here. Because you look at what's available in the stables, it's these 3 horses, and I've already bought that one.
Greetings, stranger. Is this about Tephalas' death? Or I suppose, not death. The Daedra tell me that is not really how it works for them. I imagine he will come back eventually. Do you know Noroth? The two of you spoke for some time, I saw.
North asked me to check for any mortal witnesses of his death.
Again, not death. Displacement? The proper word for their unique situation eludes me. To answer your inquiry, no, I did not see what occurred. I was actually headed into the Daedric district to meet with Tephalas when I stumbled on the scene.
Why were you meeting with Tephalas?
Tephalas and I are friendly. As much as any Dremora has friends. I helped him gain the trust of the city council to begin treaty discussions. He just met with my father, Farvin, leader of the council. I wanted to know how the negotiations went.
I need to speak to this person.
Might be waiting for others of my kind to reform before going out into the plains once again. But do not mistake me for a coward. What do you want, child?
Nass sent me. She said you know the location of Uark's hidden treasure.
That is not common knowledge. Why would Nass send someone as mortal as you to track it down? This is a mystery. Very well, you've intrigued me. Why should I tell a nerdling like you what Nas wants to know?
Yorick's treasure isn't a secret anymore. The only way to keep it safe now is to let Nas have it.
I suppose that's true. Uxark went to oblivion with a smile on her face, knowing that the Plainstones would never be reunited. Now that they are, there's nothing stopping less reputable Daedra from soiling her treasure with their greasy hands.
Nas and Madam Wim are well respected even among mortals.
And they are both fools. Let me mark the portal's location for you. You've done me a free favor, mortal. When Uxark reforms, I'll know where the treasure is. We can reclaim it in bloody glory. I can't wait to cut Madam Wim down.
Heh. I'm sure she'll be ready for you.
You're here. Ritual starts soon. Tell me what you learned. I mentioned a necrologist. Mixotet's the one. If the shell holds clues, he can find them. His ritual requires your aid. I promised you would give it. First, tell me what you learned. Did the mortals see what happened?
No one was near him when he collapsed.
Magic from a distance, then. I saw no scorching from fire. Cursed object, maybe? No. Pockets were empty. Let's hope Mixotet reveals more. Why did he leave the Daedric area? He preferred not to upset the mortals.
He had just met with Favin in Doral for negotiations.
Makes sense. Would Favin attack him? Maybe. He resents all Daedra, but how? And why the delay? Still too many questions. Don't like it. Help Mixotet with the ritual. Claims the magic needs mortal hands. Promised me it won't hurt you.
How do I assist in the ritual?
By smoke and light. Mixotet will call for a reagent. Find it, throw it on the ashes. He will explain what he sees. I will translate for you. His speaking needs practice. Start with the dead Bainkin. We can go from there.
Yeah, we'll talk to him, but you'll see it's kind of weird what he says.
Infinite thirst for prepared interest proposal. Turned advice says vanity and neutral. Misery wisdom arises to the spirit stream. Fragile tendrils allow connections to foregone, and until now, your efforts become necessary.
Are you saying I'm necessary? How so?
Salvage physicality. Triangles examine interior hollows. Broken soul, limited cycle, grounded. No more understanding. Ancient folding across rivers.
I don't understand. Nora said that he would translate.
The track yet written beyond his general. Forfeit linear pointed strangers. Recommended blush of new. Floating beneath and above into similar plateaus. At juncture perform exaltation. Discreet.
Like I said, it's really weird, his way of talking.
Written by Blade. Secrets whisper. Explore the form. Infinite thirst. Pathways withered. Flew after darkness.
The brain decayed rapidly. Forced the vestige from the shell. The urn dust next.
River source haunt the chest. More dancing in river. Fade the marrow.
Poison flooded the shell. But from what?
Shattered sky, ecstatic gloom.
The blue plant.
Abdomen exploration. In our trails. Charred reveal.
Poison beneath the skin. The entry point. We must talk.
Lighted stump rings strange.
Curious. A poison that affects Daedra. This is new to me. We know more now. Not a random attack from a hater of Daedra. Someone able to apply this to Tevelaz. Got close. This was planned.
Where do we go next?
First, I need this substance, not to use, to examine, and maybe to use. Depends on how events progress. Mesotet says he knows of it, on a fallen tree to the northwest. I would like you to collect some. Too dangerous for me.
I can collect the substance. What do you do?
I will ask around about this poison. See if someone peddles it. Perhaps someone moving for power. Then I'll visit the last person Tefelas spoke to, Faven Indoril. Meet me in the spire, center of town. Unlikely he reveals much without you there.
What do you know about Faven?
Arrived when the spire fell. Mehrunes Dagon flung him here. Hates Daedra now. Understandable. Leads the Mortals Council. Opposes Daedra residents. Possible suspect.
If he leads the council, why does he let you stay?
Tefelas explained the situation. We will not leave. If the mortals attempt to force us, they will die. Simple.
Then what were they negotiating?
Our existence can remain adversarial. Knives forever at our throats. Tension makes existence a burden, inefficient. Or it can be beneficial. They provide a seat on the council. We offer protection from the Deadlands' many threats.
That seems like a fair trade.
I see the last of the Fool Killers still consorts with mortals.
And I see a blade bearer who could use a new perspective.
You travel a strange path, Lyrinth. I won't ally with kin such as you.
I was not offering an alliance. Mortals, speak to Rinkias. Tell him about burning Gyre Keep.
Mortals in the Deadlands exist only at Mehrunes Dagon's sufferance. They grovel in his cult, toil as his slaves, or skulk and hide in places such as this, in the hope he will forget about them. Which are you? And why do you seek the Blade Bearers?
I'm the kind who's here to kick Mayor Dagon between the legs. I found a Blade Bearer sword at Burning Gyre Keep along with Nakovarbs and the Waking Flame cultist.
No Blade Bearer would willingly enter a fortress loyal to Lord Dagon. I'm in search of my clan members who disappeared, however. You say you found one of our swords at Burning Gyre Keep. Tell me, what do you know of the Order of the Waking Flame?
They attempted to deliver my world to Dagon by merging it with the Deadlands. I stopped them.
An audacious plan. Mehrunes Dagon has swallowed mortal realms before, or at least a portion of them. Such as this settlement you see before you. You are fortunate that their plan failed. What brings you to the Deadlands now? Vengeance?
A new danger. The Dagonists built a device that creates incarnates, monsters that threaten my world.
If Dagon's servants struck down my kin to protect this device, I will punish them. But first, they must be found. My scouts followed rumors to Xynoes's jail and Jin's foundry before they vanished. I will begin there. You may accompany me.
Who are Jinned and these data names are really hard. Xenohal, tell me about them.
Jind is a Dremora kin marcher. She studies relics and devices. Xynoes is Zivilai. He studies pain. They are both subordinates of Valkanaz Novkroz, who you say you encountered at Burning Gyre Keep.
Have the Blade Bearers had trouble with the Valkanaz before?
When Dagon's purposes interfere with our own, we gladly fight his minions. Prince Dagon knows this and welcomes it. We have met the Valkanaz in battle before. This business of mortal secrets and missing Dremora is new, however.
Tell me about your missing clan members.
The Blade Bearers come to Wretched Spire every cycle. It provides a place to plot our next campaign against rival clans. When one of our war parties never arrived, I dispatched scouts to find it. They made one report. Then they too disappeared.
Where do we find the two of them?
Kinmacha Jind oversees a foundry in the Sever, not far from Wretched Spire. Zanoaz is a master of a jail in the Burn, a place of suffering. My scouts reported that both seek information about mortal dealings, each in their own way.
Is it unusual for them to be so interested in mortals?
It is unusual for two high-ranking lieutenants of Arkanaz Novkroz to suddenly concern themselves with mortals, yes. Novkroz has nothing but contempt for your kind. Is that all? I grow impatient.
Yes, that's all.
Off we go!
Vika, Drozer, stay vigilant. It's possible our clanmates will return alive.
Alright, we gotta sample the poison.
Do not pursue this, Robin. It will fail.
Daedra don't belong here. This was once sacred ground.
Father, please, just hear Noroth out.
This conversation goes as expected. Bavin has a simple mind. Surprised Tephalas hasn't killed him yet. The blighted tree, did you find it? A sample of poison may help us identify our target.
Yes, I found it just outside the town.
Well done. Beginning to understand why mortals summon Vinkin. Very useful to have an assistant. A curious substance. If we find anyone else with it, we may have our target.
How do we proceed?
Speak to Favin. You're immortal. He may respond better to you. Ask about his conversation with Tephalas. Get a sense of his plans. Important we delay a purge, at least until Tephalas returns.
Another stray piece of refuse has stumbled into our town, I see. At least you're not a scamp or some other horrid creature. Well, welcome to Wretched Spire, apparent home to all of the Deadlands cast-offs. Why have you come? Now, you can't really kill those things, can you? They just keep coming back whether you want them here or not. But yes, I hear about everything that happens in Wretched Spire. Odd. I just spoke with him. Have you learned how he was killed?
Seems it was poison. What did you discuss before he died?
What? You're investigating the death of a Dremora? Why bother? That creature will be back in a matter of days. He came to push for the damn treaty of his. Wishes me to allow Daedra to reside here permanently. I refuse to allow it. No idea. However, Teflaz seemed occupied with looking into a recent arrival to Wretched Spire. A shady character named Vontan. If you're so interested, talk to that scoundrel. He squats over with the other dangerous trash in the flea pits.
Why do you hate the Daedra residents so much?
Why? Do you know how I arrived in the Deadlands? Why I'm likely forced to live out my days surrounded by blight and storm? Are you so ignorant of the very place where you stand? Mehrunes fetching Dagon flung me here with half the city.
Mehrunes fetching Dagon flung me here with half the city. Those Daedra seem to want peace.
Peace, fair. Daedra are single-minded creatures. They only strive for what their essence tells them to seek. They don't want peace with us. They only see a truce as a means to an end. What that end is remains mysterious, so they shall have no treaty.
What else do you know about this Volaton?
Not enough, unfortunately. He appeared recently skulking around, trying to avoid being seen by decent people. He lives over in the flea pits, where we relegate those who won't stay civil. I should really clear out the flea pits.
Alright, I'm actually going to go ahead and pause there. I keep drifting in and out of consciousness, and that's not a good thing to do while streaming. So I know we didn't get too far in progress-wise today, but I'm going to have to stop. I'm sorry. I just can't stay conscious while not... I mean, if I was having a conversation, it would probably be one thing, but all I'm doing is playing, and I'm just not staying conscious. So we're going to go ahead and end off here. Next week, we're going to try to push through much more of the game than we did this week. I have to stop. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.